It's time for Insurance Unlocked with your host, Heather Arias from Udy and Associates American Family Insurance. Heather will be sharing her proven insurance tips to help you save money.
Well, hello, Heather. How are you doing today?
I'm good, Michael. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm so glad to see you again. I'm glad we finally made contact for
Yes.
another exciting adventure in the world of Insurance Unlocked. Goodness gracious. Hey, I understand you've got some great tips, news, and updates as it pertains to earthquake and flood insurance. So tell us what's going on.
Yeah, a lot of times when we sit down with people or they call in regarding a claim, they assume that earthquake or flood insurance is automatically covered on their home policy, and it's not. So, for instance, earthquake, let's talk about that for a second. On your
Yeah.
home policy, earthquake is an endorsement, which is something that you can add for an additional cost to your policy. And it does have a separate deductible that you would have to pay in the event of filing a claim. I mean, hopefully we don't have an earthquake, but if it did happen, that would be an additional coverage you have to add. So earthquake strikes here, let's say in southern Utah, you don't have earthquake on your policy. Unfortunately, you would have no coverage to the damages or the rebuilding of the home. If you did pay the additional premium and put that on your policy, then you'd be good, and you just pay the deductible that's set forth with the earthquake coverage.
Oh, well, that's cool.
Yeah.
So, what's the cost of earthquake insurance? Does it vary from home to home,
It
location
varies
to
from home
location?
to home, and a lot of it's based on the deductible that you choose. Earthquake usually starts at a 15% deductible, and that would be 15% of the replacement cost or the loss on the home. So if you had a total loss, figure you'd pay the first 15% of that loss.
Okay, so let's say that I also have replacement cost coverage on my home. Does that cover part of the 15% deductible of replacement cost? Is there a way I could get like 100% coverage, or does the replacement cost coverage I have not applicable to like earthquake insurance?
So the earthquake would have its own deductible, and the home would have replacement cost on it. So in the event of an earthquake happening, and let's say you had a total loss and you had to
Yeah.
rebuild the whole home, you would pay 15% of what it would cost to rebuild the whole home. So you'd
Oh,
still
okay.
get the replacement cost of the home. Your deductible would just be a little different when it comes down to the earthquake versus the standard deductible on your home policy for other losses.
Wow. Okay, so let's say I have a replacement cost endorsement on my home. Would that be used to cover like my personal property inside the home, like my, furniture and TV and stuff like that?
In relation to the earthquake or just on your
Yeah.
standard home policy?
No. In relation to the earthquake, or
Yeah, so
would that be like flipping or something?
it would still fall under the earthquake's deductible.
Okay, all right. Well, that's good to know. So about 15%
That's
of the
starting, yeah.
total replacement.
And I think it goes up to 30 or 35% deductible, depending on the company.
Oh,
Like with us at American Family, we start at 15, and I believe we go to 30 or 35% deductible. And keep in mind, the larger your percentage, the cheaper the cost of the earthquake
yeah.
coverage will be, because you're paying more out of pocket versus the insurance company.
Okay, and I would imagine that the cost for the earthquake insurance policy would also determine on my location. So, like if I have just built a new house 1 mile from the San Andreas Fault, it might be a little
It
more
probably costs a little bit more.
expensive
Yeah.
somewhere in the middle of the desert.
You might want to get an extra earthquake protection policy.
I think so. So, how is that different from flood insurance?
So yeah, flood insurance, it's not something that you can add to a home policy. It is a completely separate policy. So we have like the NFIP, which is the National Flood Insurance Program, offers policies. And there are other companies out there that are like brokerage options that you can purchase flood insurance
Yeah.
through. So if you did have a flood on your home, there's no coverage on your main home policy. You would have to have the additional flood insurance, which is separate, in order to have coverage for that. And it has its own deductible as well, and it can cover up to a specific
Okay.
amount for the home and the contents.
So, flood insurance, would that cover both? Let's say that a pipe breaks in my bathroom and floods my house. Would it cover that? And would it only cover like external flood? Like I'm too close to the river, my whole house
Yeah, so the
floods.
flood insurance
So
is
what
going to be
what
more
exactly
like
does that cover?
you're too close to the river, or there was like horrendous rainfall and it flooded into the home. A pipe busting in your home. Now, every insurance company can be different, and water claims are a little tricky. But usually, what I've seen is if a sudden outburst of water, you have a pipe that just busts in the bathroom and floods, the insurance
Okay.
company will usually cover the water damage from that, and then you're responsible for repairing the pipe itself. So that's going to be a little different than what a flood insurance policy would do. This is like outside water that's coming and flooding into the home and causing great damage.
Okay.
So yeah, both of
What's
those
the
are great things
deductible on?
on the flood.
Oh, I was just saying, I didn't mean to interrupt. Yeah, what's the deductible?
They usually start at 1,000 from what I've seen. Like with the National Flood Insurance
Okay.
Program, when we quote through them, we usually start at $1,000 deductible.
Okay, so it's a little bit different than earthquake, which is percentage based.
Yeah.
This is an
It's a
actual
little different.
fee.
Exactly. Yeah, and you can go up to.
And
I just quoted flood insurance for somebody yesterday, and we went with a $5,000 deductible. Just brings their cost down a little bit.
Okay.
And flood insurance, the price for that will be based on the amount of coverage you want for your replacement on your dwelling, I should say, and your contents. So that will help to determine the price.
Okay,
And what flood zone
so
you're
the higher the deductible, oh, I'm sorry. So the higher the deductible, the lower my cost is going to be.
Yeah, but another big player, and I forgot to mention this earlier, would be your flood zone. So depending on what flood zone you're in, if you're in a higher risk, your insurance, the flood policy itself will be quite a bit more. And everyone is in a flood zone.
Okay.
So everybody's in a flood zone. It just depends on if you're in like a preferred one or not. Yeah, you could be at the top of a
Oh
hill and
my
still be in a
gosh,
flood zone.
we're all
You're
in.
still classified into one.
No way.
Yeah.
Just in case Noah's Ark shows up, you're still on top of the mountain and you're in a flood zone.
Exactly.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah. So
Okay,
both are
so
great
the bottom
policies to
line
have.
is that
I was just going to
okay,
say both are great policies
earthquake
to have.
insurance. Yeah, I can see why. So number one, because we're all in a flood zone, we should all have that. And number two, earthquakes are so unpredictable; you never know what's going to happen with that. So
Yeah, and I believe we
okay,
have a fault line up the road or something like that. We're not too far away from one, so
really?
I think there's
Oh,
isn't there a fault line that runs through Utah or something?
I don't know, but maybe we should plan a road trip and let's go out
Yeah,
and
go find it.
it's around here somewhere.
Uh-huh.
Well, Heather, any other words? Any other words of wisdom before we head on down the fault line road?
Yeah, just keep in mind, when it comes to earthquake and flood insurance, those are things that you have to add to a policy or purchase separately. And when you're in the time of need, it's good to have those.
Yeah. So, Heather, if somebody has questions, how can they get a hold of you?
Yeah, go ahead and call our office at 435-251-9102. You can also email us at Udy and Associates at amfam.com. That's UDYANDASSOCIATES at amfam.com. We do have a brick and mortar building here in St. George. You can come see us. We're right behind Wingers and Applebee's. Also Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, all of those. So we'd love to hear from you.
That's great. Good. And I want to remind everybody that you guys can also check out Heather's Insurance Unlocked podcast on YouTube and all the major podcast channels. So, Heather, thank you so much. We'll
Thanks,
see you again
Michael.
next time with another exciting adventure. Take care.
Sounds
Bye-bye.
good. Take care. Bye.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of Insurance Unlocked, hosted by Heather Arias from Udy and Associates American Family Insurance in St. George, Utah. For more information or a free consultation, call 435-251-9102.